name is Jenna and I'm a law student, and soon I'm going to start applying for jobs, and I'm just really interested in how women are treated in the workplace and at law firms specifically. So Abs, you've read this really interesting article in the Harvard Business Review. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So there's a great piece out this month by Professor Ely, and he's talking about a study that they've done with one of the big consulting companies in the world as an example of the service sector. And what they're hitting on is the fact that we've had equalities legislation to make things fair between men and women for the last 40 years. And although we're, a lot of big companies are recruiting people on a 50-50 basis, even after doing that for another 15, 20 years, you're still getting about only 4% of women getting to the top of these companies. So the article goes into why the causes of that, why that happens. And the two surprising things that come out of that are, firstly, that because companies are recruiting, in terms of affirmative action, 50-50 basis, men and women, they come in, they think they've dealt with the problem. So they think that, they don't have to actually then try and accommodate people moving through a HR framework, or because there's an affirmative action assumed to occur all the way through recruitment, i.e. promotions and such like, going through an organisation, they don't have to deal with it. And within large organisations, there's still a culture that women are, supposed to be at home. There's a kind of still that old school idea about the women's role in society, about they're just going to be unhappy working all the time, and so they're just not promoted for that reason. So, but what the study finds is that men and women are equally unhappy of not being able to spend time with their families. So one of the things that we're looking at in the back of this, in order to try and create an equal playing field going all the way up our firm, is to create the idea of a three week a month working time. So you only work 3 out of 4 weeks, or 3.5 weeks out of 4, all the way through the year, and you get your usual holiday time. So that will deal with the perception of the women of not feeling unhappy because they're not at home and therefore they're going to be less productive. And it's a misplaced perception, as the article says, because men and women are thinking of the same sort of discomfort when it comes to overworking. And there's also another line of thinking about the fact that we're all being overworked anyway, so we can be much productive if we had more breaks and more rest. So looking into how we can restructure the way we work to make people work three weeks a month. And that's going to lead to less stigmatisation of women. And we'll have to monitor how this works in practice, but we had a look at our labour structure and how we were going through our current work and servicing our clients, and we think that it's possible to do that. And we were looking at areas where we were wasting time in the way that a company might look at the way they're wasting money on excessive advertising or stationery or such like. So time is also something that you can be wasting, and what the research suggests is if we get on top of that and save ourselves time and then allow people to have that time back, to spend with their families and their personal lives, then women shouldn't be marginalised as much. And I think we were talking earlier about whether it would really work in practice, having less time, at work, whether that would mean that clients would be a bit upset by the levels of service that would come out of that. And the other thing that comes out of the study by Professor Ely is the fact that most people looked back on their lives when they got a lot older, about 50 or 60, and said, well, actually, a lot of stuff I was doing was superfluous. I was made to stay long hours and do these things, and actually the client didn't necessarily need those things. And now I'm old enough to deal with clients. I often ask that question because I don't want my guys to be working all night. And they think it isn't necessary. It's about a different way of managing client expectations. So reducing the work time, managing client expectations will reduce the perception that women are somehow missing the home and therefore shouldn't be promoted. I hope that helps a little bit. It's up to each and every business in the service industry how they want to tackle this phenomenon that only 4 out of or 5% of women are reaching the top. But there are some interesting things out there now that one can look into. Does that help?
Yeah.
Great, thanks. Cheers.